Welcome everyone to the Hatboro-Horsham High School College Fair. We're excited to have you participating in this event today. We have some fantastic schools here with us. My name is Greg, I'll be your facilitator. And before we get started, just a few brief housekeeping items. First of all, your camera and your microphone are turned off so the panelists cannot see or hear you. You can use the Q&A button that you see on the bottom of your screen to type any questions to our presenters, and you can do that at any time. This is just one of many different sessions happening. Be sure to check out the schedule on the website and sign up for additional sessions. And lastly, this presentation is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/Hatboro/Horsham. And I'll put that link into the chat so you can take a look at that. I'd now like to turn it over to our first presenter, Nova Southeastern University.
Thank you so much, Greg. And thank you everybody for coming to our virtual session today. My name is Julia Severance, and I am the admissions representative for Nova Southeastern University. So if you guys are not familiar with Nova Southeastern, I will tell you a little bit about us. We originally started off as a doctoral program. We moved into the master's degrees and then officially opened up our doors at the undergraduate level. So although we have 20,000 students on our main campus here in Davie, Florida, only about 6,000 of them are undergraduate students. So there's a really small community feel here at NSU. Our average class size is about 17, but I've seen our classes anywhere from 5 to 30, depending on the class that you are taking and the time that you are taking that class. Another great thing about NSU that I personally love is our academic career coach. That's going to be with you for all 4 years as an undergrad student. So not only are they going to be helping you pick your classes, but they're also going to help you with internships, research opportunities, and much more here at NSU. Another really great thing about NSU is our diversity. So we do have all 50 states represented on our campus, as well as over 115 different countries as well. So there is a lot here to offer. And since we are a private research institution, we do have over 150 research projects that happen in all different fields on our main campus. I've seen research done in education, business, medical, dentistry. So definitely a lot to offer here at NSU for students who are looking to get published, get scholarly papers under their belt. And the last thing that I want to mention on this slide really briefly is we are highly ranked not only on US News, but also the WSJ as well. So we do have a lot of different areas of study. The departments that you see here are our biggest, but we do have over 50 different undergraduate degree programs where students can combine double majors and double minors and concentrations even, or tracks that we offer here at NSU. But we have a great selection for students to choose from, and many of our student ambassadors that give tours actually are double majors and double minors. So really a lot to do and a lot of flexibility here with your degree at NSU. I do want to talk a little bit about the oceans of opportunities here at NSU. We do require Excel units for all of our undergrad students. We do require 6. However, a lot of our students leaving our doors at the undergraduate level obtain way more than 6. And the reason for that is because there's so many ways to receive these units. So internships, we do have over 1,000 different internships that happen every year. We also have study abroad and travel study programs that students can take advantage of, seminars and webinars as we continue through this virtual setting. And then lastly, we do have a lot of research opportunities for incoming freshmen. A lot of them are shadowing some of our graduates and professionals, but really just getting acquainted with the lab is some of the really good opportunities that we house for incoming freshmen. We do have an oceanographic center that's just 30 minutes south of us in Delray, where students are actually doing coral reef restoration, as you can kind of see there on the left-hand side. But they're also working on some anti-cancer therapies and a lot other things that are currently happening there. So we have a lot to offer, not only for the academia portion of NSU, but we also have a lot to offer just the community as well. So we do have 16 NCAA Division II teams here on our campus, both men and women. We do have over 130 different clubs and organizations, and our participation rate is so high here at NSU because it's so easy to get involved. If there's something that you can't find here at NSU or you want to start your own club or organization, all it takes is 6 students and an advisor to oversee your club. And then you can go ahead and make your mark at NSU and really give you that edge. Lastly, we are ranked top 100 on best colleges for American campuses on niche.com. And that I like to think is because of our beautiful location in South Florida. So we are about 15 minutes away from Fort Lauderdale Beach, which is this beautiful picture you see here on the left. We are about 1 hour away from the Florida Keys and 3 hours away from the second happiest place on the planet, NSU being the first, of course, and Orlando and Disney being the second. We do have an average temperature of 77, but if you're from Florida, you know that's a little bit on the colder side. And then we also have over 2,000 community service events that happen primarily on our beaches doing beach cleanups because our students will give literally any excuse to go to the beach throughout the week here. But again, just really great opportunities for students to take advantage of. So I do want to talk a little bit really briefly on this slide. We do have, when students apply automatically to our institution as incoming freshmen, you will be automatically considered for our Dean Scholarship, which is anywhere from $5,000 to $19,000. So that's coming off of your tuition bill automatically as soon as you apply. So definitely take that to consideration. And then we also have additional scholarship opportunities that I would love to talk more with you one-on-one about. But our estimated sticker cost is around $45,000, but NSU does give away $41 million in scholarships every year to our students. So when we have students applying, I like to tell students that we're looking for students with A's and B's. They've done AP, they've done honors and IB courses. A majority of our applicants do come from Florida, about 58%. 36 are out of state, and we do have that wonderful international population of 6%. From the 14,000 applicants that we get every year, about 1,700 actually come onto NSU's campus. And we are test optional for this upcoming year. So the scores that you see on the screen here are just really a mid-range of what we're hoping to get from our students. But if you fall above or below or haven't taken your SAT or ACT, please do not let that hesitate you from applying. Lastly, if you are interested in applying, we have both a November 1st and February 1st deadline. So make sure you get your application in before then. All we need is transcripts and a letter of recommendation, as well as your application in order to mark you complete. We can normally give you a decision before the holidays. And that pretty much concludes my presentation. If you want to stay connected with us, please feel free to follow us on social media or just contact me directly. I will be dropping my information in the chat. But again, thank you so much for coming to this session today.
Thank you so much, Nova Southeastern University. We'll turn it over to our next presenter, Waynesburg University.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kristen. I am the admissions counselor here at Waynesburg, and obviously I'm on the road, so don't mind me being in the car. I am super excited to be here. Just want to go over a little overview of who Waynesburg is. So we are a private Christian liberal arts university. We were founded back in 1849, so we've been around for quite some time. And we are located in southwestern Pennsylvania, about an hour south of Pittsburgh, PA, and about 25 to 30 minutes north of Morgantown, West Virginia, which is where WVU is, if you are familiar. Here at Waynesburg, our mission is to educate students to make connections between their faith, learning, and serving. So we do have a lot of faith opportunities on our campus. We have a campus ministry center that's right in the middle in our student center and is a great place to stop in throughout the week if you're looking for some free coffee, donuts, or sometimes Chinese food. We also have Fellowship of Christian Athletes. If you are an athlete looking to get involved in your faith that way, FCA is a wonderful opportunity and is actually open to more than just athletes. So you don't have to be playing a varsity sport in college to attend these meetings. We do have our weekly chapel service. This is on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. There are no other classes scheduled during this hour, so students will never miss anything if they want to attend chapel, but it is not required. So if you're not interested in going, or maybe you have something and you have to miss a couple weeks, that's not going to be a problem. There's no required chapel service, but it is really fun and I always enjoyed it. Upper room was my favorite thing that we did. It's an all student-led worship service. This is on Sunday evenings and also an optional thing, but very cool. In terms of learning, we have 70 plus major and minor concentrations. There's a couple integrated programs that you see here, our athletic training, business, counseling, criminal investigation, and education. We have a 13-to-1 student to faculty ratio and about 1,400 students overall. So we very much are on the small side of things in terms of universities. You can see an average classroom size of about 16. It typically ranges from 16 to 25, although the least I ever had in a class was 9, and the most was maybe 27 or 30. Every department has 100% hands-on learning, research opportunities, or internship opportunities, just depending on the major that you are considering. We want to make sure that you're getting that hands-on learning no matter what. Here is a slide of all the majors that we offer. They are in alphabetical order, just in case you're looking for something specific. Hopefully you can find it quickly. But of these majors that we have, our top 5 are nursing, criminal justice, forensic science, business, and education. So any student considering those areas, we have very great programs that are well established and would be of benefit for you to at least check out to see what you think. For athletics, we are a D3 school, so being an athlete and being a student is a very easy balance to do. It still requires some time commitment, obviously, but the balance is a little bit easier to strike than at a different level. There's a lot of men's and women's sports to choose from, so if that's something you're interested in, it's always a great conversation to start at any point in the process. In terms of our scholarship opportunities, each incoming student is eligible for one of these achievement awards. These are merit-based scholarships that get reviewed and awarded when we review your application. So they do range from $6,000 to $16,000, as you can see the progression there. We also have a state scholarship of $3,000 for any out-of-state student. This is automatic. You don't have to do anything special for it. It's just based off of your address. The Scout Scholarship that you see is if you are an Eagle Scout, or Gold or Silver Award for the Girl Scouts. Our competitive scholarship opportunities are listed here for you as well. So there's a couple new ones this year: our Entrepreneurial Leadership Scholarship, that third one down, and the Waynesburg Christian Life Scholarship. The last one you see is actually in its second year. The other ones have been around for quite some time. And if you know anything about Waynesburg, you may have heard about them. The Bonner Scholarship is one of the most popular ones. It is service-based and need-based and is really helpful for a lot of students. So I won't go into too much detail about these here, but just know if you go to our website, waynesburg.edu/scholarships, you'll be able to read in full about each of these scholarships and how to apply. This slide is about our tuition. This is always an important piece to talk about. So our full cost of attendance currently is coming in at about $38,970. So you can see that tuition, fees, room and board is all included in this chart here for you, just to give you a good idea of kind of where we're landing. Now, this is obviously just our sticker price. Not very many students are going to actually pay this much. With those achievement awards, the state scholarship, competitive ones, the FAFSA, and maybe other additional scholarship opportunities that you're looking into, we like to bring this number down as much as we can so that it's an affordable option for you. And if you have any questions, please feel free to put those in the chat. We will be around to answer chat questions during the rest of the presentations. Thank you so much for your time here. And if you need anything, just reach out.
Thank you very much. We'll now pass it over to our next college, the University College of Dublin.
Hi, everyone. I hope, am I on mute? Nope, I'm unmuted. Hi, everyone. My name is Kendall Hook. I am with University College Dublin. So I'm actually throwing something a little different in the mix. I am the representative for UCD here in the United States that works with all of our students from New Jersey down to Florida on the East Coast. But we are actually in Dublin, Ireland. So I'm not sure if you have been to Ireland yourself. So why would you consider Ireland? Why would you consider Dublin? First and foremost, if you're looking for adventure and want to blaze your own trail, I think going abroad would be an excellent opportunity for your undergrad degree. Ireland in particular, we are the only English-speaking country in the EU, which has some benefits, which I'll touch on later. But for being such a small country, we are a very globally connected and multicultural society. So you have people from all over the world coming to Ireland, whether it's for work or for school. Dublin has a crazy number of students, international students in particular, but we also are an EU headquarter capital. So we have companies like Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, Airbnb, just to name some of the biggest ones, located in Dublin, which makes for a really cool opportunity for networking, for internships, or jobs after graduation. But for being such a small country, I mean, it's so easy to explore. You can get from coast to coast in a matter of 3.5 hours. You may have seen movies and TV shows about Ireland, and it really is as beautiful as it seems. So you can get the city, the countryside, the mountains, the water, all very close to each other. Dublin itself is an incredible city to spend 4 years in, especially for students. I feel like it's very manageable in size. So you have the benefits of being in a European capital, but it's not as overwhelming as a London or a Rome or a Paris. We have great public transportation. It's easy to navigate, but it has a really great scene for students. So great nightlife, great art scene, great comedy if you're into comedy. So there's lots to do for students while we are there for school. And it's often ranked in the top 10 best student cities in the world. We are University College Dublin, or UCD for short. We are the largest urban campus in Europe, and one of the oldest in Ireland. So we moved to our campus just south of Dublin City Centre in the 60s. So our campus is pretty modern, despite being one of the oldest universities in the country. We're just south of Dublin City Centre by about 2.5–3 miles. So it's very easy to get from the city centre to the hustle and bustle of downtown in a matter of 20 minutes or so. We have 19,000 undergrad students on campus, and 30% of our student population is coming from outside of Ireland. So that is a really large percent, and we really pride ourselves on being Ireland's most global university. Academically, we are the #1 school in Ireland, according to US News World and Report, which is very exciting. And about 70% of our North American students do receive merit-based scholarship to attend. We do have housing on campus, which is pretty unique for a European university. So we have about 4,000 students that live on campus their first year. As an international student, we venture to guarantee you a room on campus. You'd have your own bedroom, which is really nice, and sometimes own bathroom. But we do have a residence life team that helps build community on campus, and you're not more than a 10 to 15-minute walk to the library or our other academic facilities. We have great facilities on campus, ones that you're typically used to here in the US. So we have great sports centers and student life centers. We have over 130 clubs and organizations to get involved in, which is really the best way to plug in and find your friends. We don't have fraternity and sorority life, but we have a ton of other options to get involved. We have over 70 undergrad degree programs. These are the overarching subject areas that you can find more specific majors in. But all of our degrees are fully transferable back here to the US, whether it's for jobs after graduation or for graduate school applications. You can apply to what's called direct entry, where you apply specifically to the subject you're interested in studying, and you can start it right away. So if you want to be a STEM major, you never have to take another English class again if you don't want. But we do also have a special program called the Liberal Arts and Sciences program that you can apply to if you are undecided. You can try a couple of different subjects your first year and then transfer into the program you want to continue pursuing without adding on any additional time to your degree. Most importantly, we are on the Common App. So I would recommend applying that way. 80% of our US students do. We have about 2,000 North American students on campus. So Common App's the easiest for you. So just recommended, to go ahead and do it that way. So applications are open now, and we do recommend applying by December 1st if you're interested in applying for scholarships. We do automatically review students for smaller amounts based on academic merit when you apply, but we have some larger scholarships available to apply by February 1st for. Additionally, we do accept US federal loans. So if you're completing the FAFSA, you're welcome to indicate UCD. If you have any further questions, I would be your main point of contact. So you're welcome to jot down my email here or scan the QR code to complete our interest form. And I'm happy to pop it in the chat as well. So thank you all for letting me share a little bit about UCD, and I'm happy to pass it over.
Thank you very much. Our next university is Miami University of Ohio. It looks like University of Miami, Ohio clicked out. Maybe they'll rejoin us again. And if that's the case, we'll just move them on down. But next then we would go to William and Mary University. Welcome.
Hello, thank you so much, Greg, and to all the other college reps out there. My name is Ola Pozor, and I'm an admission counselor at William and Mary, the second oldest college in the United States. We prize ourselves on our history and our traditions. And let me just share my screen with a short presentation about our school. All right. So, as I mentioned, we were chartered in 1693, so we're literally older than this nation itself. So we've established a lot of traditions and firsts that are now present at many other institutions, such as the oldest honor code, which really establishes a close community of trust and understanding and high standards of learning. We prize ourselves as a public Ivy school, and we really have rigorous and excellent academics with many opportunities for students to get involved outside of the classroom. As you can see here on these little bubbles, we're the #1 public university for study abroad because it's actually embedded into our curriculum, sort of as a graduation requirement before students graduate. They can go to William and Mary program on all 7 continents. We offer in many different disciplines. Our students are very mature and globally minded, and we provide those opportunities for them. Furthermore, 80% of our students participate in faculty mentored research, which is unseen for an undergraduate sort of cohort where students can develop their own ideas and projects with many scholarships and grants, or participate in a already ongoing project or lab, one of them being the Global Research Institute, which is well-known, 10 research groups that undergraduates can participate in, even get paid for, and present their research at top-notch conferences around the country and also in Washington, DC. We're located in Williamsburg, Virginia, which is the historic triangle where basically all of US history started, but we also have a Washington, DC center where students can study for a semester or for a summer and develop some really close relationships with our alumni, mentors, and do some internships. So that's also a very big hub that we have. But really our students go all across the world during their time and also after graduation. We have a 12-to-1 student faculty ratio, so students develop really close relationships with their peers and with their professors. We prize ourselves as one tribe, one family, and that feeling holds true across disciplines, across departments, in the freshman halls, in the classroom, with professors, and with the alumni community. Furthermore, outside of the classroom, we have over 500 clubs and organizations. It's a very vibrant residential campus where students like to stay and partake in all kinds of activities, multicultural organizations, a cappella groups, academic clubs, service organizations, fraternity and sorority life, which is prominent but not dominant, very inclusive and welcoming, which goes to show how we are number 4 ranked in the happiest students and very high up on the quality of life, because our students engage in so many events outside of the classroom. They're change makers, they're go-getters, they're very active politically and socially, and they have a lot of agency in what happens on campus and around the world. So they really strive to make an impact in the community and outside. We have an alma mater productions organization, which organizes Screen on the Green, movie nights, laser tagging, concerts like Joe Jonas, the Chainsmokers, Ray Shremond, bringing in these artists to Williamsburg. And we're also very excited to be opening a fine and performing arts center next December to really integrate our music, theater, speech, and dance departments, which are at the moment just a little bit scattered around campus. Another building we pride ourselves upon is the Integrated Wellness Center, a center with all kinds of resources for students to engage in, to disconnect, decompress, as they are very busy students in their academics and their social lives. So we also want to make sure that our students are taking good care of themselves and of each other, which is really what our community is built on: collaborative and caring rather than competitive. I already mentioned our location and our size of our school, the history that we have, and the traditions. This bridge that you see is called our Crimdell Bridge, and there's a lot of traditions associated with it, and also a legend that whomever you cross the bridge with, you are destined to be with for life. And so many a time I've seen wedding proposals on the bridge, freshman halls crossing together to symbolize eternal friendship. And we do have a commencement ceremony, a graduation tradition where students walk around in their caps and their gowns, and they all collectively cross the Crimdell Bridge together to symbolize their unity with the school and with each other after graduation, which goes straight into, again, how successful and how tight-knit our alumni are. We just had our homecoming weekend, and it was a fantastic turnout of alumni who came back to engage with the students and connect them to really cool opportunities after their undergraduate years. Just some quick deadlines to be aware of. We are an early decision school, which means that it's a binding decision. We love to see students who want to come to William and Mary, and they find out relatively early whether they got in or not. Well, we also offer flexibility with early decision too, regular decision, and we are a very transfer-friendly school as well. And we do a very holistic review process. We are now test optional, which is exciting, and it's been very successful. So we plan on keeping that policy for the next couple of years. And then some optional components that I highly recommend looking into: an additional essay, a senior interview with a current student, and an arts portfolio. So we really want to see well-rounded students who are academically challenging themselves, but have also passion and interests outside of the classroom and can really contribute to the community and to the world and become a part of our tribe. So thank you very much. I'll put my contact information in the notes in the chat, and I look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you very much, William and Mary. Miami University of Ohio is back with us, so let's turn it over to Miami and Tyler.
Yes, thank you. Apologies, everyone, just having some technical difficulties over here, but back on. I'm really excited to talk to you about Miami University, located in Oxford, Ohio. So as I mentioned, my name is Tyler Margolis. I am the Assistant Director for Admission at Miami University. I primarily recruit students in the greater Philadelphia area, as well as New York and New Jersey, and I also review applications as well, so happy to answer any of your questions that you may have. So as I mentioned, Miami University is located in Oxford, Ohio, about 45 minutes outside of Cincinnati. It's actually funny, when students arrive to Miami University, they will fly into the Cincinnati airport that's located in Kentucky, believe it or not. And then students will drive 45 minutes to our beautiful Oxford campus. When you arrive to Oxford, what will you see? You will see 20,000 students. So we're technically a mid-sized institution. Now, while that may seem relatively large, it's actually not. Because our average class size is around 30 students, which is great because you'll know your professors on a first name basis, which is extremely beneficial when you're applying to internships or applying to job opportunities or graduate school as well. We're also really proud of our diversity as well. As I mentioned, of these 20,000 students, they are from 47 different states, 75 different countries, and it really creates a unique experience for Miami University students. Miami University is a original public Ivy. We're actually one of the 8 original public Ivies. I believe William and Mary as well is one of the original public Ivies. Now, what does that mean? So in the 1980s, there was actually an academic researcher by the name of Richard Mall, who worked for Yale University at the time. And he toured institutions that really met the academic criteria of, as well as the institutional criteria of a public Ivy League institution in regards to their facilities, teaching excellence, as well as their student engagement. And based on that, based on him touring the country and trying to identify these different institutions, he declared that Miami was one of these original public Ivies. So basically, long story short, what that means is we provide an Ivy League level education at a public school tuition price. So that's a badge of honor that we wear very proudly. As I mentioned before, our teaching experience is second to none. We were actually voted a top 10 public university for undergraduate teaching 10 years in a row. Once again, you will be in a relatively small classroom environment. Despite having over 100 majors and minors, your class size will be around 30 students. For every 17 students, there's about 1 professor. So once again, it's a very close, intimate setting. But at the same time, because we are a public institution, you'll have access to a variety of different majors and minors. Speaking about some of these different majors and minors, so as I mentioned, we have over 100 different ones, and they're divided into 6 different academic colleges. The first one being the College of Creative Arts. That's where you'll find your theater major, your music major, your art major, interior design, as well as architecture. We also have our College of Arts and Science. That is at one of our largest majors because it is focused on the liberal arts. So that's where you'll find psychology, sociology, political science, and students will have a lot of different immersive experiences within the College of Arts and Science as well. We also have our College of Education, Health, and Society. That's where you'll find our teacher education program, as well as our sports leadership and management program for students that are trying to get involved in the operations side of sports. We have our College of Engineering and Computing. So we have a variety of different engineering programs, mechanical, chemical, robotics, just to name a few. We also have an engineering management major as well. We also have a perennial ranked computer science program as well. And a lot of those students are actually involved in our top 10 esports team in the country that kind of competes all over the nation. We also have a nursing program as well. That is a highly selective nursing program. There's about 80 students per class who get clinical experience as soon as their junior year. So that is a highly selective program that you can only apply to as a first-time student. You cannot transfer in from a different institution. You also cannot transfer in later on in your Miami experience. Last but not least, we have our Farmer School of Business. That is our business college, of course. Some great highlights about our Farmer School of Business is that 4 of the largest accounting firms in the country all have offices within the Farmer School of Business. There is a separate application review process for the Farmer School of Business. If students are not directly admitted into the Farmer School of Business, it is a relatively easy process to transfer in. All you need to do is maintain a 3.5 GPA, take 30 credit hours, as well as take either a math or economics class your freshman year. Miami University also hosts 19 different Division I athletic programs. We're probably most well known for our hockey team that competes for a number of different Frozen Fours on a yearly basis. Also, the last 2 Stanley Cup champions have Miami University alum on them. I know that we're in the greater Philadelphia area, but for any Steelers fans out there, Ben Roethlisberger, Super Bowl winning quarterback, also attended Miami University. If athletics are not necessarily your thing, We also have 600, if Division I athletics aren't necessarily your thing, we do have 600 different intramural teams, as well as 50 different club sports as well. So some intramural sports, we actually have a sport called broom ball, where students will perform on ice hockey or on an ice rink. Instead of skates, they'll be wearing these specialized shoes, and they're hitting a ball into a net. Sometimes the faculty gets involved, and it could definitely get testy, especially if students thought they were deserving of some better grades. We also have 50 different club sports teams as well that travel nationwide and compete for a variety of national championships. I know we're running short on time, so I just want to talk very quickly about our merit scholarship programs. As you can see here, out-of-state students qualify for a variety of merit-based scholarships, highly dependent on their GPA. We are test optional. If you do believe that your standardized test score can improve your application, then we do recommend that you do indeed send it. Last but not least, here are a few application deadlines. November 1st is our early decision deadline. It is also our first early action deadline. We also have another early action deadline, December 1st, and our regular decision deadline, February 1st. And just to finish off, in order to be considered for merit-based scholarship, please submit your application by December 1st. And last but not least, love and honor. That is our code. That's what we live by, and we hope you experience it when you visit Miami.
Thank you very much, Miami University of Ohio. That gets us to our last presentation today, the University of Maryland.
There we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you all for being here. My name is Alyssa, and I am the admissions representative from the University of Maryland for the Philadelphia area. So if you do have any additional questions after today, that means I'm the person that you can reach out to. So we are Maryland's flagship university. So that means we are the largest university in the state of Maryland. We have over 30,000 undergraduate students and a freshman class of just over 5,000, but we are definitely not as large as you might think. We have over 45% of our classes that have fewer than 20 students, and there are a ton of ways to find your community on campus and make the school feel smaller. We are also rated number 10 for best value among public colleges. We have top 25 programs for business and engineering, and we have one of the best computer science programs in the world. We're also diverse in pretty much every sense of the word. Over 40% of our students here identify as students of color. We have students representing all 50 states and over 123 different countries. You might also notice that Kermit is waving hello in the middle of my screen here, and that's because Jim Henson, the creator of the Muppets, is actually a University of Maryland alum. For student life, we are able to guarantee all of our freshmen on-campus housing, and typically we're able to guarantee housing for any sophomores that want to live on campus as well. Then our juniors and seniors typically opt to live off campus in more apartment style living. 18% of our students are involved in Greek life, so if that's something that you're interested in, that's definitely an option for you, but it's not such a huge part of student life that you have to be in a sorority or a fraternity to have a social life here on campus. We also are, of course, a Big Ten school. We have 19 different Division I sports teams here on campus, so there are tons of opportunities for you to go to sports games and cheer on your teammates. But if you do want to play sports in college, but not necessarily at that Division I level, we also have a bunch of club sports, which are going to be similar in level to your high school varsity sports. And then we have intramural sports as well, which are a far more low-key way to stay active in college. We are located in College Park, which is a small college town in Maryland. There are tons of restaurants and stores that are all right nearby that you can also go and explore as well. And one of the biggest pieces of our location is also our proximity to DC. We are about a 40-minute metro ride away from DC. And with our proximity to DC, there's of course the social aspect. There are tons of restaurants and cute neighborhoods to check out. There's also the monuments and the free museums, but there's also a lot of professional opportunities as well. There are a lot of opportunities for research and internships on Capitol Hill, in nonprofits, and in private corporations. Something that sets us apart from the universities that are located in DC proper is we have all the perks of a city school while also having that traditional college campus feel with all the green spaces like the quads and the buildings that surround it. Our location in College Park also means we're super close to both Baltimore and Annapolis, so you have 3 major cities that you can really take advantage of, which is definitely unique as well.
In terms of academics, we do offer over 90 majors and 80 minors here on campus, and we don't limit our students in any way. So you can double major across schools, you can major in one school, minor in another school. We also have a program called Letters and Sciences, which is for any students who are undecided on a major. About a quarter to a third of freshmen do come into the University of Maryland undecided. So if that's you, no worries, we have a place for you in Letters and Sciences. You'll be paired with an advisor, take some exploratory classes, and declare your major before the end of your sophomore year. Something else to note is we do review our applications major blind. So that means whatever major you note on your application will not affect your admissibility to the university as a whole. It is actually our president's promise that every University of Maryland student has an opportunity for an experience out of the classroom, and we definitely have no shortage of opportunities. So we are an R1 research institution, so that means we have the highest level of research possible taking place on campus, and we have opportunities for research in every field, not just the STEM fields you typically think of when you think of research. And you can start participating in research as early as your very first semester here. We also have a very strong education abroad program on campus, and over 20% of our students actually do choose to go abroad at some point. And if you want, you can actually go abroad more than once. Something else that's very unique to the University of Maryland is our living and learning programs. These are something that a lot of colleges do, but the University of Maryland is actually nationally recognized for how well we do our living and learning programs. And they're sort of what they sound like. A group of students will live together in the same dorm and they'll learn together. They'll take some of the same classes and they'll share some similar interests. And there's no separate application necessary for these programs. As long as you submit your application by our early action deadline, you're automatically reviewed for them. So getting into our application process a little bit, if you take nothing else out of my presentation today, at least walk away remembering this. Our early action deadline is November 1st. And the best thing you can do for yourself if you want to apply to the University of Maryland is apply by our early action deadline. That's because we actually take 85 to 90% of our freshman class from this early applicant pool. It also gives you priority consideration for both merit scholarships and those special programs like the living and learning programs I was talking about. Our regular decision deadline is January 20th, but truly do your best to get your application submitted by November 1st so that it's the most benefit to you. We accept the application on either Common App or My Coalition. We don't have any preference, just apply through whatever makes the most sense for you. And we review applications holistically. So we look at 26 different factors, or 25 if you are choosing to go test optional. About a third of these factors are academic because we want to make sure you're set up to excel academically on campus, but we also want to know what you're like as a person. So we want to know not just what you're like in the classroom, but your interests and your leadership and all of that as well. Basically, we want to make sure that you're really going to find a home here on the University of Maryland's campus. And that is the end of my presentation, but if you do have any additional questions, you can always reach out to us at applymaryland@umd.edu. Again, my name is Alyssa, and I am the representative for the Philadelphia area. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, University of Maryland. I want to get to my last screen. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today. When you close this window, there'll be a link to a very quick 5-question survey, and we'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. We encourage you to check back on the schedule, sign up for any additional sessions, and remember, you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all of the other sessions recording at strivescan.com/Hatboro-Horsham. Thanks to everyone and have a great afternoon.